Tons of news this last week, so let's jump right into it. Disneyland has officially announced their reopening starting on July 9th with Downtown Disney. Then the two parks will reopen on July 17th, and the hotels will reopen on July 23rd. They will be using a reservation system for ticket holders and pass holders. They will avoid activities that will draw big crowds, like parades, fireworks, and character interactions. There will be more details released later, but expect masks, temperature screening, and pretty much everything that Disney World already announced. That's good news for the other California parks. They did propose a July 1st date to the state of California, and as far as I know, they haven't been approved yet, but the fact that Disney is publicly setting a date in the middle of July is a good sign for everybody else. Last week we were confused about what was going on with Ohio, but right as my video dropped, the governor announced that the parks could reopen on June 19th. A few days later, Cedar Fair announced that Kings Island would reopen on July 2nd for pass holders, and then for everybody else starting on July 12th. Cedar Point will open on July 9th. The 9th and the 10th will be for pass holders only, and starting on July 11th, that will be expanded to Cedar Point Resort guests also. It's not clear when they'll let people in with regular one-day tickets. Worlds of Fun will be the first Cedar Fair dry park to open starting on June 22nd. I don't see anything about limiting the park to pass holders or anything like that. Their new Braunfels and Galveston Schlitterbahn water parks in Texas have an official reopening date of June 13th. Cedar Fair released a video just like Six Flags did a couple weeks ago about all their new protocols. Nothing really groundbreaking here. You have your temperature screenings, masks, hand sanitation, more cleaning, the usual stuff. A couple interesting things did stand out. They will send you a health screening 24 hours before your visit, and you need to fill it out and send it back to them. A couple other things that aren't so great. You will need to download the app for each park you visit in order to make your reservation. So if you're like me, you'll end up with an app for like 9 different parks this year. Also, no word about the virtual queue. I love the idea of waiting in line without waiting in line, but it didn't sound like this was in the works. Listen to me, Cedar Fair. If Holiday World can do it, so can you. I mentioned Carowinds was looking at a July 27th reopening, and that was extremely late. But the North Carolina Labor Commissioner publicly stated that they wanted a late June opening instead, and that makes a lot more sense. So keep an eye out for that. Back to Six Flags. June 22nd was the date for Worlds of Fun, and it will also be the date for Six Flags St. Louis. It'll be open for pass holders until the 26th, and then it'll be open for everyone. Hurricane Harbor's opening date will be announced later. We've also been waiting on word from Over Georgia, and we finally got it. They'll open on June 15th to pass holders, and then on June 22nd for everybody else. Their water park will open on June 29th. The Six Flags reservation system has also changed. If you're familiar with buying tickets or flash passes, it looks a lot like that. The workflow is about the same as before, but the interface is different, so it's not that big of a deal. Six Flags Great America is still in limbo. Park management is really pushing the state to reopen by late June, but they're still being pushed into Phase 5, which is when a vaccine is available. I'm really hoping for this to happen because I'll be in town that last weekend of June. Last week we talked about the Texas Six Flags parks opening on June 19th, and now we know that SeaWorld San Antonio is joining them. You will need a reservation to get in, and they will require a mask and temperature screenings. Kentucky Kingdom is opening on June 29th, and now we know when Keys to the Kingdom will be happening, August 30th, the day after Hollywood Nights. You can visit their website below to get your tickets, and if you want more details on this event, that link is in the card above and down below. The Great Escape Lodge will reopen on June 26th. No word about the park itself though. Kennywood and its sister parks, Sandcastle Water Park and Idlewild, will start opening up on July 6th. This will be the friends and family only day, and then pass holders from July 7th through 10th, and then open for everyone on July 11th. Reservations are required for everyone, so you can't just walk up to the park and buy a ticket. You can start reserving dates on June 17th. There will be temperature screenings with a 104-degree cutoff, and masks will be required for guests 3 and older. Maryland announced that their parks can start opening up on June 19th, so expect Six Flags America to make an announcement soon. Up in the Northeast, you have Kenobi Lake Park, which is hoping for a July 1st reopening date. And Lake Compounce will be opening on July 1st for pass holders, and July 6th for everybody else. The restrictions sound identical to the ones I mentioned for Kennywood, so make sure you have your reservation and your ticket online before you go. Six Flags New England also got the go-ahead from the governor to reopen during Phase 3 or 4, which is set for early July. So we could see maybe a mid-July opening there. I do have news on the UK parks, with 4 set to open on July 4th. Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Chessington, and Legoland Windsor. Based on their websites, they'll be using a reservation system. Some other smaller parks opened up recently also, starting with Alabama Adventure on May 30th. Also, OA in Alabama and Adventureland in Iowa opened a week ago on June 5th, and Glenwood Caverns in Colorado opened on June 8th. One thing about Adventureland, they aren't doing reservations, and pass holders can come in every day, but ticket holders will be admitted first come first serve. So if you were like me and planning on coming in the middle of the day, that might not work out for you. I would get there early to avoid being denied entry. So that's it for now. If you hear anything new, put it in the comments below because this thing is changing all the time, and by the time this video comes out, it'll probably already be out of date. The news really does move that fast. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.